Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well. You fantastic, fantastic people. You're looking amazing, by the way. And this week, I think, it's the midweek hump. It is the midweek hump. How could I forget? Everyone loves the midweek hump. And look, I did a community wall feed post thing, and I was talking about the fact that I would come back when I'd let the dust settle and readdress this cameras in the courtroom situation. Because look, there's mixed reviews. There's mixed, and I knew it would be a room splitter. Look at that, look. John Judge is doing what we all do best over on YouTube. He's getting in the swing of things with those room splitters. And the room splitter is indeed what is right. Is it right to remove cameras from the courtroom, or is it right to keep the cameras in the courtroom? But that's not the issue here, is it? And look, I've seen the amount of comments that are in support of it, and the equal amount of people who are dead set against it, and the people in the middle, and this is where I sit, not really understanding what on earth is going on. And what I mean by that, I mean this. Look, I could understand if Judge turned around and said, look, this guy deserves a fair trial. I have seen how the media have manipulated the information and made it look a certain way and made it bias, because they have. And even though there's still people who are firmly in belief of some of the things that have been lied about and this perpetuation of fake narratives, but people have fallen hook, line and sinker to it. And this is what Judge John Judge was talking about. He was talking about these news outlets who he had warned to behave in a certain manner and report in a certain manner and do it right, and they didn't do so. They couldn't be fair. They couldn't be honest. They couldn't be just, because honest and fair and just is fucking boring, and people get bored and they don't look at it. In order to sell, in order to get clicks and views and ultimately money, you have to make it more interesting. You have to feed something, and when you make something appear, just extremely, interesting, do you know what I mean? It would be boring if they were just simply reporting as things are and playing, the middle ground. The middle ground isn't where the money's at. It's about being first, being the most exclusive, bringing the shock, bringing the awe. That's where it is. And I could understand if Judge John Judge just removed the whole lot and said this court is going to be done quietly. And what we'll do is we will record it, and we will make sure that it's recorded for when the whole thing is over, when it's done, we will then put it live. We will then put it out for everybody to see, so it answers everyone's questions. But that is not what's happening here. Now, what I will say is I still think that the best way to do it is to live stream it. I do. I think that ultimately the court system is a public arena. The public have a right to see how it goes. And yes, people can't be fair and people can't play fair, but that's fucking life. It's just the way it is. That's why you should make sure that the people that you pick to do it, that's like saying we can't operate in a specific way because people will be manipulated by a specific piece of information that could sway their judgment. Well, let me put this forward. If you've got a situation where you have a procedure that could remove someone from the planet, and I mean the death penalty, and you're basically saying that whether somebody lives or whether somebody dies is rarely influenced by public perception or their perception of how someone like News Nation might push someone onto a social media platform, that's alarming. Because what you should be able to say with some confidence is that your legal system, this system that's set in place that's going to judge somebody and ultimately execute them at the end of it, has to be without failings. It must be inflexible. It must be impenetrable in terms of somebody watching something that News Nation or Court TV puts out, and that makes them think, hold on a second, it should just simply be evidence-based. We want to see the evidence and see whether the evidence proves beyond a reasonable doubt whether we get from here to here and this person did it. That's how the system should be. But that statement and that concern and that worry proves that this is a broken system. A broken system. But they started the ball rolling in this broken system fashion by removing the preliminary hearing that would have been the most fair and just way. So they've already proved that they don't want to play fair. And in my eyes, my opinion, and look, at the end of the day, I'm over the pond. Maybe I just don't get it. I don't understand. But to say that he wants somebody to have a fair trial, he's concerned about how the media are going to push things and film things and what they're going to say. But to then turn around and say, but I will be putting it on my YouTube channel, well, the information is still going to be there. The media will still see it. The media will still report it. The media will still put their spin on it. Every single thing that they've got has been after the fact, and look what they've done with it, and that's no different than what will happen here. They will just take what you upload and manipulate and use that in the fashion that they have done for years. It's never been any different. They have always been the same. Legacy media have always been the perpetuators of violence and lies, and they will continue to do so. But this to say that you're doing things for a specific reason and then you do something that makes you think, hold on a second, that's your reasoning behind your decision just doesn't work out when you're then saying that you will put it on to the social media platform that is the largest perpetuator of bullshit, apart from legacy media in like newspapers and stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. I just can't get behind it. And I understand that people are turning around and saying, no, it's right. This is how it should be. He should remove them from the, remove media from the courtroom. And I believe that he should remove media from there. He shouldn't allow the likes of News Nation, etc. to film in there. But he's not being genuine with his reasoning behind it, and it proves it by saying they can't film but we're going to film and then we're going to put that here. It just doesn't remove the problem. It doesn't remove it. It just means that you are the sole source. You become exclusivity. But people, this shows that Judge John Judge doesn't truly understand the way social media works. Because you can have something that comes out black and white, but then someone will put a spin on it and people will take that as gospel. I could do 2 videos side by side on the exact same topic that you guys have already seen and turn a hero into a villain and vice versa. Quite easily. And many who watch it will believe in it. So that's why I can't get behind it. And that to me is a red flag. One of the biggest red flags of all is how somebody can say that they are removing something from the courtroom in order to protect the trial, the integrity of the trial, but then come up with the stupid Twilight Zone-esque idea that putting it yourself onto social media platform removes what your very basis for... Do you know what I mean? Let me know down below what you truly think. Now the dust has settled and things have, you've had time to mull it over. Maybe initially you thought it was a good idea, but then the penny dropped and you then considered what is actually happening here. I just don't understand. And maybe I'm just a stupid person, but that's how I see it. I see that the fair trial argument is a valid one. Look at Richard Allen, for instance. Look at the situation in terms of a fair trial there. And I don't think Bryan Kohberger could go anywhere and get a fair trial because there's nowhere he's going to be able to go, especially in the US, where people have not heard about this trial. I'm just saying, most people who are on social media, for instance, who are interested in the news and current events will know News Nation. They will know Court TV and places like that and Dateline. Kohberger is a huge name, so much so he's probably more searched on social media in terms of YouTube than the Idaho 4 themselves. How many people do you think search Xana Kernodle or Ethan Chapin? Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Bethany Funk, any of them? Do you know what I mean? It's sad. It's sad. All of these names, and Kohberger will be the name because he is the person who is now going to go through the system. But this ain't about a fair trial, because that ship has well and truly sailed. The stable door is being closed well and truly after the horse has bolted. And let me know down below, and I'll catch you all on the next one.